Hi there, JL Burrows here. Just wanted to thank everyone for coming out tonight, today, and to this release party. Thank you for being here. If you joined today, welcome. If this is your first time here, I'm so excited that you were here. If you are one of my long-standing friends, you rock, of course. If you're an author who came out tonight, you are my ride or die people. Thank you so much. I pick you forever. Thank you so much to everyone who made this event not only a success, but also an incredible blessing. If you are watching this after the fact, I hope you have a great time perusing everything awesome that happened today, because there was a ton of awesomeness going on. So many great authors were here, and so many people were having so much fun commenting and liking and getting involved in the awesomeness that went on. And so I'm just really glad that y'all were here. I hope you find a new favorite author to love and cherish. If it's me, even better. If it's somebody else, these are some great people out here, and I am just so blessed to have each and every one of them in my life. Guys, you are the reason I write, so thank you so much. You are the reason books exist, so bless you. I want to start with a giveaway. First giveaway is going to be an ebook copy of After the Darkness. Hi, Amy. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Rebecca. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. So to win an ebook copy of After the Darkness, in a comment, tell me what you're most excited about in this book. Don't know about the book? There's a post right now that just went live at 9 o'clock. I have some posts that are coming out at the same time as I'm on this live. And on there is a video that kind of flashes a couple photos of that will show you a little bit about what's going to happen in the book. And then here, I'm going to read you the blurb. Here we go. In a chance meeting, she awakens his heart, only to steal it when another forcefully removes her. Can he overcome his brokenness to rescue her? James can't return to the torturous underworld. Never. Thankfully, his team battles the surge of evil pouring through the thinning barrier between realms. But dark forces threaten to reclaim him, and he struggles to forget the girl's haunting brown eyes. The team can't drop everything for one girl, not when the world is at stake, but his heart wants to demand otherwise. There's no way anyone will find Rhea. No hope of rescue. Kidnapped and beyond afraid, she doesn't dare say anything to anyone. She should have reached for help when she had the chance. Now, she's seen too much and will never be free again. Will James risk everything to save her and maybe even himself? Guys, if you love wounded characters in need of healing love, a good comeback hero, and love found on opposite sides of the track, then you'll love the apocalyptic battles, angelic epics, and fearsome warriors in The Balance Keepers. So why Rhea's story? Why would I write a story about human trafficking? Well, I'm a school teacher, and I am working with the youth, and I have been a school teacher for this is my 16th year. And this is a topic that affects all of our young people. If you know a teenager, if you have a child, if you have a friend who has a child, human trafficking is a serious problem for our youth right now. I wrote this book because I have a son and a daughter who are both teenagers. It concerns me as a parent, but also as a high school teacher. If you have a loved one that's a teenager, it concerns you too. Through Freedom 424's mission, this is the organization that I went and did some research with, and the one that my cousin works at. They have a mission to prevent and end human trafficking, both locally and globally. They want everyone to understand that human trafficking occurs with the people you know. It's very different than what I had expected to hear. So in order to protect the people you love, we need to be talking about how traffickers will use their vulnerabilities to hurt them. It's very different than what I expected. There are some things to watch out for. This is not a comprehensive list by any imagination, but it is some main issues that we can keep an eye on. A history of running away, drug abuse in the home. Kids are actually often sold for drugs in association with the opioid epidemic. A change in personality, a change in grades. Many people are on the lookout for this white van and stealthy man all in black, but it is so much more insidious than that, so much stealthier than before. Today's scene includes peer recruitment, older partners, and using online research and posts to discover vulnerabilities in your child. Since COVID, so the expectation is white van with a man dressed all in black. In fact, it's mostly a child's uncle, a friend, or older boyfriend. We've heard all about the snatch and grab, but instead it's grooming that starts when the child is very young. We think it's only women and children sold for sex. It's actually men, women, and children forced and sold into marriage, labor, organ harvesting, and sex. We think everything is forced in this scenario. It's much more emotional. Traffickers attempt to bond romantically so the victim can be manipulated. It's financial. Traffickers promise jobs to those looking for work. It is forced still. Traffickers will use intimidation and promises to hurt family and the individual. But most importantly, it incorporates shame and guilt. So the person themselves sometimes doesn't understand that it's not their fault and they blame themselves for what happens. And so that's something to keep an eye out for. If you suspect someone is being trafficked, you need to go to the police. Don't try to interact with them or stop them. It is extremely dangerous. You could get hurt or you could cause the other person to get hurt. So you do not want to approach the victim or the trafficker. I learned some staggering statistics in writing this book. 40 million victims are trafficked each year, and those numbers are currently climbing. Traffickers are making $150 billion in profits. They're getting rich off of selling others. This problem is only second to drug trafficking, and not for long. Hey, Dawn, thank you so much for joining me. It's soon going to be our number one problem in America. Since the coronavirus pandemic in 2020, there has been a 4-fold increase in online exploitation. In my home state, Tennessee, 94 kids are sold each month for sex. Look up the statistics in your state. This problem is real. It's huge, and it's destroying our youth, and we can do something about it. Did you know that 1 in 4 girls are sexually abused by the age of 18? Or how about 1 in 10 boys are sexually abused by the age of 18? Did you know that most 8 to 11-year-old children have been exposed to pornography? I know that these are hard things to accept and to hear, but at the same point, we need to be aware of the battle we have ahead of us. Children are at risk if they've been previously sexually abused, if they lack support and community, so they're, alone. They're in foster care, they're in the LGBTQIA plus community, they're a minority, or they are suffering in poverty. 70% of trafficked victims were first victimized at home by family. That was a really scary statistic. That's uncles, brothers, boyfriends, visitors. And just like in the story with Rhea, much of this activity is tied to drug or gang activity. Just like you see with my character Rhea, many of these children are groomed by a slightly older peer. It's not some adult male. It's like 20-somethings who promise to rescue them from their father they're angry with, or their mom who's, ticked them off. And they promise to fill the void by the hard knocks of life and then trap them in situations where they have no power, just like you see with Rhea. No parent is perfect and no family is flawless, but everyone needs to start having conversations about the dangerousness of this whole scenario, the risk factors, and how to protect the people we love. I wrote Rhea's story to do just that. Now it's your turn. Talk to the people you love. Prepare your children to face the real world out there. It's getting more and more real every day. And if you suspect someone is in trouble, don't hesitate to reach out to the police and let them know, even if you're wrong. I'd like to acknowledge a few people for this book. This book was inspired by a lot of different things, and it came from. It was a difficult book to bring into the world. Oddly enough, this vision was both inspired and then supported by a few separate interactions. First, I had lengthy conversations in the planning phases of this story with my critique partner, Melissa Hightower, who is on here right now. Mwah, I love you. She's an amazing author as well. And together we ferreted out the direction and honest emotions required for this story to have true impact. I'm deeply honored to share what I learned from her with you. Then I gave my mom a gift, which I wasn't really I just went online and was like, okay, it's her birthday. I'm just going to go ahead and grab one style of book that she likes. She's really into this certain style. It's a Karen Kingsbury book. Thanks, Melissa. And it's called A Distant Shore. And so I'm thinking nothing of it. I'm, being a good daughter. I'm giving her a book she'll love. I'm thinking, okay, I'm like the book whisperer here, and I'm giving her everything. And then she comes to Ocean City, which is where we have our family reunion. And she's like, here's this book you gave me. I want you to read it now. And I'm like, I don't read that genre. Does it have dragons or dinosaurs or anything fun? And she's like, no. And I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound like me at all. But I did read the book on the beach. I don't recommend it. It's not a beach read. It does say Distant Shore. It does have a beach on the cover. It is not a beach read. Do not take your kids with you to the beach reading this book. Hey, Darlene, thank you so much for joining me. Anyhow, it's about human trafficking. And, I was frightened to write something so dark, to really feel like I'm digging into something so insidious. And it really helped me to read A Distant Shore and to see that with her words, she was able to go into the darkness and talk about it without actually being dark. Evelyn, oh my gosh, you're here. Hi, thank you so much for coming. Oh my gosh, you guys are so awesome. So anyhow, I read that and I thought, if she can do it, I can do it. And seriously, I'm like flipping the pages going like, okay, now how did she handle talking about that? Like, and it was one of those things where I really had to like go back and check myself and try not, like I had a couple people read it because I was like, is this going to be too upsetting for people? Are they going to, is this going to, I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want anybody to, be in a situation where I've triggered them. But at the same point, I want us to use our voices. It's one of the strong things that we've been given in this world. And we need to be speaking out about the things that matter so that we can protect the people we love. So then I met with Joy, who's my cousin, and we talked about, she trained me in human trafficking, and she did like a whole presentation. It was a whole thing where we sat down and she walked me through it over a Zoom. And there you have it. We have After the Darkness here. I am really pleased to have this book in my hands, and I am just thrilled that it is out there and doing so well already. We've already hit number 8 in the new release category in the top 100. We've already hit number 58 in all of Christian fantasy. So I'm really excited to see how well it is doing today. But this book is God's. I give it all to him, along with any good that comes of it. May it touch many lives, teach many young boys and girls about the dangers out there, and split wide the darkness, because I'm really sick of it being so dark and so difficult. I'm excited to see you too, Evelyn. Hey, Melissa, thank you. So why write? I'm a teacher. I didn't start this journey as a writer, although what's funny is I kind of sort of did, because when I was 10, I was writing journals. And when I was in high school, I was writing poems. And when I was in college, I was writing songs. And then I got out of college and I became a teacher by accident. And that's a whole nother story I'm not going to get into tonight, but ask me about it sometime. It's quite funny. Weird. Anyhow, so I kind of fell into becoming a teacher, and that became my, go-to thing that I was going to do for a living. And why write, right? Well, as a teacher, I do see a lot of students facing horrible situations and frustrations, and just because of how this world is right now. And I want to tell them why things are so bad. But I really can't, because that's not a part of that job, right? And so I wanted a place where I could speak and I could share and I could be myself 100%. And so one of the reasons I started writing these books was for that, because we're at war and everything is all chaotic and feels so hopeless because we are all a part of an invisible war. So I wrote The Balance Keepers to bring to life the things that go on without us seeing it. For me, this truth was brought to life when I was a teenager by Frank Peretti, the author of This Present Darkness and Piercing the Darkness. His work really impacted me. Even to this day, the images in his book were so, he brought it all to life. We can talk in church about a lot of things, and we spend time listening to church, but then we walk out. And once you walk out those doors, it's like, sometimes it always feels like it's falling out, or we just forget. We get busy and we get distracted and we get moving, and then we're blindsided by something like cancer, or we're blindsided by something like not having enough money for the bills. And it just kind of like, you get tripped and then you just keep falling. And sometimes we get to the point where we're like, why is everything so hard? Why am I struggling? And so it was important for me to see how the enemy worked and how he. Did you, Evelyn? Evelyn's saying she's read his books too. Yeah, they're amazing books. They actually are the inspiration for my Darkness series as well, The Balance Keepers. Mine's a young adult series, which is a little bit different. It's written for a younger audience, but yeah, he's got a very powerful, those books were very powerful. But, I think it's really important for us to know how the enemy works. And we need to be reminded about why things are so hard. Why are we struggling? I mean, we don't, like, people who are at war, we don't think, oh, it should be easy. Oh, everything should be fine. Oh, we should be just, cool. We realize that when we're at war, when we see bombs going off and destruction happening and people hurting, it makes sense, right? But when we don't see the war, when it's invisible, when we're fighting against things that are unseen, it's really easy to be tricked into thinking that we're not at war. that it's not even happening. As a matter of fact, that's one of the greatest tricks the enemy has, is to make us believe that there's nothing wrong. There's no reason to be worried. There's no reason to take up arms and fight. There's no reason to be serious about our faith, because we're going to be just fine, you know? And so God told me to write this series when I was at a time where I thought I couldn't. And I stubbornly refused and came up with every excuse in the book. God kept on me, though. He gently pressed into my heart and reminded me of my own journey and the books that impacted me, like This Present Darkness, and calling me to a message that I was really scared of, to be honest. I mean, it's a pretty scary thing to try and handle human trafficking. You know, it's just, I tried to do as great a job as I could. He's always sneaky. He sure is. That's right, Evelyn. So anyways, plus I was busy. I was a teacher and not a fiction author. I was a serious writer. Put on my serious face. I wrote nonfiction. I didn't have time to add silly fiction writing to my repertoire. I wrote curriculum to teach students how to write, and thought I was doing some great big strong thing to help the world. And God said no, that I needed to stop and that I needed to share some of the truths He's made clear to me. You know, and so I walked into school 6 months after He put it on my heart. I walked into school and you know, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm not a writer, even though I've been writing since I was 10. I have journals that date back till I was 10. In my head, I was not a writer. I was trying to be a teacher. Like, come on, God, let's get on the same page. And so it was one of those things where it came about where I walked into school and the principal called me to their office, which, by the way, even as a teacher, that is never a good feeling, to get called into the principal's office. And she sat me down and she was like, okay, this year I want you to teach a creative writing course. Translation babysit. But I was like, no, if you're going to ask me to write a creative writing course, I'm going to honor that. I'm going to do the best job I can, no matter what I'm being asked to do, even if the basis of that request is, you know, I just need these kids to be in a room with a teacher. Evelyn, I am so glad that I was obedient to. It's funny because in this whole journey that I walked, I found out in teaching these students this creative writing course, I was like, okay, we're going to write a book, because that's what God put on my heart, right? And so I'm like, touche, God, you win. So I wrote Hunted by Darkness, which at that time was called Predestined, with those students. And we did that together and we walked through that journey together. Stephanie, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. And, you know, I don't know what the kids got out of it, but I do know that I discovered inside of me lived this dream, this passion for fiction that I've always loved to read. I've always loved to write, but it's funny how we decide what our choices kind of define us, and we choose a path. And sometimes we're so stuck in our decisions that we can't even see that there's this thing right next to us that would make us happier. And I have to say, to me, writing is therapy. It is something that has healed part of me. All right, we're going to do a giveaway again. This is giveaway number 2. For an ebook of your choosing, Hunted by Darkness, Rulers of Darkness, or After the Darkness. And here, let me show you these beautiful covers while we're at it. Hunted by Darkness is here. This is the first book in the series. Who you see on the cover there is Evie, and this is where she's starting to find out that there's she knew there was a whole other world, just like all of us do, but this is when it really comes to life. And then Rulers of Darkness is book 2 in the series, and this book is about Evie's journey in becoming obedient, even when we're not really happy with the other person or that we might be helping. Sometimes we're called to help someone who is really quite a miserable creature and really needs our love, but we don't want to love them because they're kind of hard to love. And so this book is about her being obedient to the call in her life, even when the other person's kind of icky. And then this book, After the Darkness, is obviously the most recent one. This is today's release party day book, and it follows Rhea, which is a new character to the series, and James, the other character in this book, book 2, and it's their story about how he kind of is working through all the trauma he's gone through, and she's experiencing trauma, and it's about him using his second chance for something that's worthy of having a second chance. So those are my 3 books. Follow me and at least 2 other authors from today's event on Amazon. I've listed all of them very conveniently on Burrows Book Buds, all of their Amazon links to follow them. So go in there. Best thing would be to follow them all. I mean, they've done a great job today, and I'm so grateful for them. And we can show them our appreciation by going in and following every single author that's listed there. That's 11 authors, and it's not going to cost you a thing. And just let me know that you've done it, and you'll get that ebook of your choosing if you are selected in the comments. I want to talk about the importance of supporting Christian artists and art. It's something that we take for granted right now. We're in the United States of America. We've had freedoms and liberties for as long as we've been established, and a lot of those freedoms are being challenged right now. And one of the things that the enemy wants us to do is to think that we're good. When we think we're good, when we think something's fine and we don't need to worry about it, we don't protect it. And right now, our entertainment is not protected. It's not. It's being taken over. It's being taken away. It's being. I don't know how much longer we'll have freedom of speech and how much longer we'll have the ability to put out Christian books. And so, I just want to emphasize, if something is blessing you, make sure that you are getting with the times, that you're liking it and supporting it, and you're shouting it from the mountaintops, because that's helping that ministry. I went to the Toby Mac experience recently, which was his release party for his new album, Life After Death. And I am a huge Toby Mac fan. His music is just the right. It's, for me, I like things that are extremely real, unless they're their book, and then it's got to be fantasy. But I love how real his music is, and about how, if we're going to talk about something, let's talk about it really. It's not, I don't like this whole let's be polite about things, and no, let's get to the root of the trouble. Let's fix it and then move on. I mean, I guess that's the teacher in me that wants to just make things better and find the problem and move it towards something that can be a positive. And so, yes, right, Evelyn, supporting is absolutely vital. And I realized in this experience, he's lost his son 3 years ago to an overdose. And he hadn't put out any music in 4 years. And I mean, he was broken from this experience of losing his son, who anybody would be. I mean, it's a horrible thing to lose a child. And so I went into this release party, and I'm just bawling, and everybody else is sitting there looking at this thing. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? How are you not just ripped to shreds by this guy's songs? I mean, it was so powerful. And I've spent a lot of my time listening to his music, and I have never once done anything to support him. I'm sad to say, it's terrible. I didn't even know. Hi, Jessica. I'm so glad you're here. I didn't even know, even to this moment, I don't know. Do you follow musicians on social media? I don't know. I don't do that. That's just not my world that I live in. It's a serious need for us to protect people in those ministries, because what ends up happening is they get attacked, and then it's they fall off the map, and they can't keep doing it alone. We need to join together. We need to band together, and we need to support one another. Now, I'm not talking about going crazy. I'm just talking about liking a post if you actually like a post, or commenting if you have a thought. Going that little extra mile means a lot on social media. It tells, and more important than, someone else seeing your like or not. That's not it. It's the algorithms. You see, things that aren't liked and commented on are hidden. Things that are liked and commented are brought into other people's feeds, and it shows other people that are similar to you more about you. So Toby Mac has been a major part of my life. And I have to say, if you're wondering what's one song is the anthem for this album, After the Darkness, it is the song called Help Is on the Way. I highly recommend you go and watch the video. It is absolute. I swear he wrote it for this book. We were just on the same wavelength spiritually. But that's the song, Help Is on the Way. Oh, we're having another, hi. We have a visitor. Hang on a second. Come on. This is my daughter, Abigail Burrows. She is the inspiration. Can you get on there? She is the inspiration for Abby the angel, because she's my little angel. Abby, you want to say hi?
Hello.
So Abby was going to come and help me with this, but then she got tired. It's a little late for her. I'm a night owl. She's a morning person. She gets it from her father. It's totally not me. So anyhow, my hope is that my books will inspire a young man or woman to pick up the cross and fight for Jesus in the way that Jesus has fought for us. I pray my books touch the lives of those who are struggling and teach them how to fight faith first. Evelyn says hi.
Oh, hello.
Each of my books have a message. If we look at Hunted by Darkness, this one is faith changes the journey. Faith doesn't prevent the hard stuff. It doesn't necessarily keep us out of the way of the war, but it equips us to go to war, to stand when we should fall, to press on when we should give up, to turn the other cheek when we want to throw fists. That one's more for me than others, I think. Only a supreme and loving Father can inspire such in a soul. All right, and then Rulers of Darkness is all about no one has gone too far to be saved by Jesus. And he's chasing you and loving you and wanting to rescue you every minute of every day. The love God has for us is not a natural or normal love. It's beyond what we can understand. Nothing on earth compares to it. In fact, we have little to no understanding of how powerful that love is, and it is chasing us every day, begging us to turn to him, tearing after us when we run, and carrying us when we fall. Hey, Melissa and Maria, say hi to you too. Say hi to Maria and Melissa.
Hello.
And then finally, After the Darkness. Do you want to hold the book? You can hold the book for me. After the Darkness is about our choices are important and can sometimes define us. But God is greater than even our choices. We may choose the wrong things. We make the wrong decisions all the time. I know I do at least. But he loves us harder than we can ever imagine. And his army is stronger. His strength is greater. His will is unconquerable. And he will send help. Hence, help is on the way, being the... Evelyn says you're adorable.
Thank you.
She says thank you. All right, you want to help me do giveaway number 3?
Sure.
All right, you want to read it right here? The yellow?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I read all of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Giveaway 3. Free ebook copy of books 1 and 2. One or two or 3. Your choice to enter. You need to go to jlburrows.com and sign up for my free
Four
more fantasy emails, which come out once a week. Show me in the comments of the associated
post
on Burrows Book Buds to enter. Remember, don't join just to drop it a week later. I see that and it hurts my heart. And put After the Darkness
or all of my books on your want to read list on Goodreads. Go ahead and finish.
I'll randomly select someone who has joined between Saturday 9
Central Standard Time. Hey, Liliana.
And 9 Central
Standard Time Sunday.
All
right, in the comments, if you guys would say which book you would choose if you win. So glad you guys are here today. Hey, Liliana. Look at that. You got a comment. You see it?
Yeah.
Melissa says, good job, Abby. You're an awesome assistant. She sure is. And y'all know, you have to know, I just put her on the spot and was like, hey, and go. She didn't know she was going to do that. Book 2, really, Liliana? I've got that one right here. The first book. Okay, Maria. Maria picks book 1. Hey, Anne-Marie. Welcome to being with us. Which book in the Balance Keeper series would you like to read? Go ahead and put it in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and keep talking. What I want to talk about are reviews and stars.
That book 2, book 1.
All right. Hi, Jillian. Thank you, Lillian. Maria, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Maria said she just bought a copy of After the Darkness. You're amazing. I love you, girl. All right, so as a teacher, it's easy for me to think of a review as a grade. That is good, that is bad. It averages out to be a 3 or a 4. I was really surprised to find out that I was wrong about this and that a lot of things that I thought were wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't review things, lower than a 5, but I am saying that we need to kind of shift our thinking to have it in line with how the algorithms work. Melissa, you're amazing. Thank you. Melissa said, I love all of them. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Book 1. Okay. The covers. Oh, I appreciate that. My artists are amazing and all the good thoughts towards them. So it's not really an average that it works out. So like when you post, it's like it holds a cup of points. And so like I have, for a year now, I've kept a secret. I had a student go on who wasn't happy with me as their English teacher, then tried to cyberbully me using his review of my then brand new debut novel. And thank you, Maria. She said that the covers are stunning. Anyhow, the book had just come out a few days earlier, and he found out, and he and a few friends who didn't like me as their teacher decided to go and try and ruin my brand new ministry with his 1-star review. He even came in the next day and was like, "Hey, how are the book sales going, Mrs. Burrows?" This is how the enemy fights us. It's not face on. It's, some kid, this isn't his fault. It's not. Anne Marie says, "Abby, how old are you? You remind me of one of my granddaughters."
I'm 13.
She's also writing her own book, although it's had a few longer break periods and is currently on hold. But we're hoping she'll return to it someday. Right now, she's focusing on her art. So I hope one day to have one of my covers made by her. Who knows? I love this age when they're just so much potential. There's so much that they could do and so many dreams that they could have. She also wants to be an engineer, right? And well, sort of. What is it called? Architect, my bad. Whatever. One of those things that I don't know anything about. Anyhow, the enemy used this poor kid who was just frustrated and wanted to vent, and so he got on there. But see, here's the issue. Amazon gave that 1 star out of my 16 reviews that were all 4 and 5 stars, a worthiness of 21%. 1 out of 20 should not be 20%. And yet it was. And this is the problem with, right? It is a fun age. She is a talented young lady. This is the problem with reviews and how we think about them. They're not average. They're not done the way we think they're done. And it's kind of set up totally and completely unfair. And that's kind of my point. The enemy is not going to fight us fair. So we need to kind of keep our eye on how we can support one another, because we want people like Abby to come up and say, "Hey, I want to be an author too. I want to do this thing too." And so we do that by coming together and supporting one another and giving each other reviews when we need them. So how should we fight this war, right? What should we do? Well, the first step in fighting this war is to do something. If you enjoyed something, I don't care if there's a mistake. I've not read a single book that there isn't a mistake in. I haven't heard a single song. Well, I don't know. Toby Mac is pretty perfect. Maybe he's perfect. I mean, right? Right. Yeah, he's pretty perfect. I was a musician for years and I made mistakes, and I don't think a lot of people knew that they were mistakes because I kind of just played them off as jazz. But hey, that's the good part about jazz. But I mean, if you found joy in reading a book, don't hesitate to give it a 5-star rating. It doesn't have to be perfect to be 5 stars. You're not going to get in trouble if it had a few typos. If it was truly bad, well, yeah, give it a less review, but it doesn't have to be perfect it just has to be something you enjoyed, is my point. And in the review, say that. I enjoyed this story because whatever, just talk about why you liked it. That's all. Our second step in this war on entertainment is to upvote reviews that we agree with. That's happening all the time. My student taught me the importance of this. He went in and had all his friends upvote that 1 star, which is why it held 21% of my reviews, even though it was just 1 of 20 reviews. The math was a mess. I know. Liliana says she always gives a 5-star rating. She knows how hard a self-published author works. And it's true. It's so hard. It's a hard industry to break into. It's a hard industry, especially for Christian fantasy. Everybody said to me when I first got started, they're like, don't write Christian fantasy. Because here's the thing. Christian fantasy is going to reduce your audience. Well, okay, but here's the thing. We need Christian fiction, right? And I'm a Christian and I should be writing what's on my heart and what I believe, not just trying to make a buck. And so I don't know. I mean, that's between you and your heart. But I will say that it needs to be that we are supporting one another and that we are edifying one another. Because there are people out there that are doing things specifically to hurt the people you are enjoying. And that's my point. my final step that I recommend is that you give your time to Christian ministry. These are ministries. I didn't really get that until I had my own. I read books I loved and never ever considered writing a review. I never looked up an author. I have every book of this one author and have never ever touched her social media, like never reached out to her. It's just not something that I thought to do. Maria says, not just Christian fantasy, realistic Christian too. I was attacked big time with my books. Exactly. The funny thing is, so we as Christians want to follow the rules and do things right. And I don't disagree with that. I think we should be honorable and fight, the good fight, right? But at the same point, the enemy doesn't have any trouble being dirty. And so we need to be more aggressive is what I'm suggesting, that we need to be more intentional about how we go about things. Evelyn said review grades should be on the heart of the author and book. And I totally agree. Evelyn is absolutely right. And I have a post coming out soon. Evelyn did this awesome thing for me where she went through and gave me a quote, and I'm super appreciative of that. And so thank you, Evelyn. Finding quotes is hard. Like, you guys may think that there's nothing I can do. You know what you could do? You could send an author your favorite quote of the book, because honestly, people ask us for that stuff all the time. And I'm like, I don't know. I just wrote the whole book. Like, that's so hard to find a quote, but it took a whole weight off me to have someone else tell me, hey, this is what worked. And then I'm like, not only am I encouraged because I found out, oh, that meant something to you. That's really cool. I wrote that. But also it's something I can share with others and say, hey, look, this is something that has good meaning. Anyhow, be encouraged to review, rate, upvote, use your voice. It's like voting, except for on social media and Amazon. When we don't use it, we don't have the power. When we do use it, we do have the power. All right, giveaway number 4. An ebook copy of After the Darkness and book swag. So this one's got a little extra. This is my book swag is like themed earrings that I make according to the characters, tea I drink while I'm working, and I'll write you a personal letter from me. To enter, you need to post and spread the word about After the Darkness on your social media. I'll pick one person who has tagged me in their social media in the next 24 hours. And I already know some of you have done that. So you're amazing and ahead of the game. All right, ways to support my ministry and what's coming up next. So what can you do to support my ministry? Buy Christian fantasy fiction author books. So you've seen 11 today. 11 authors have come out today to share with you their amazing work. And it has been an awesome day of books and just, I'm blown away. When I planned this, it was all a theory in my head. And so I didn't really know how it was all going to play out and what it was going to feel like or be like. And I am so edified. I am so lifted up. I'm so encouraged by what everybody has done to come together and lift this release up. It's just been amazing. So I also encourage you to buy them new. So I have this dirty little habit of buying used books at used bookstores. I was laughing because it's like my favorite place to go. It's this place called, what's it called? McKay's. Yeah, McKay's. It's in West Nashville, and it's a huge warehouse of used books that you can buy, and of course the authors don't get anything from it. So it's terrible, but it's reduced cost, and poverty is a real thing. But if you can buy them new, buy them when they're on sale. If you don't have a lot of money, I've started buying like when they're on 99-cent sale so that I can grab one. Buy them as gifts. Like if you see it on sale for 99 cents and you have enough money to buy 2, buy a second one and give it to somebody. That's a huge help to an author, especially if you know the person well enough to know if they'd like the book. They can be Christmas gifts and birthday gifts. You can even buy the 99-cent ebooks. Like Maria actually taught me this. Thank you, Maria. There's a little option underneath buy that says like gift to someone. It's so easy to do. And you could just grab a 99-cent book, save it in your thing until Christmas, and then give it away for Christmas. Great stocking stuffers, great way to get the word out there. And people are always putting their book on sale for 99 cents. And I mean, my books don't ever go above the price of, half a cup of Starbucks coffee. Everything is balanced against Starbucks.
Starbucks is really expensive.
Starbucks is really expensive. Still the best coffee though. Well, I've seen a couple of, I know. I've been to recently in Murfreesboro. I've been to this really delicious coffee shop. Their coffee's just, anyhow, don't get me a coffee. I'll just talk for an hour. Remember, you can pre-order a signed paperback on my new Etsy page, 311 Faith, Fiction, and Fun. Maria says she can't afford Starbucks. Same. It has to be like a planned trip. I agree. Review the books you buy. I cannot emphasize this enough. There is a war on our entertainment, and we are currently losing. We are complacent and devaluing the access we have to Christian fiction. And if we don't protect the right to have these books and love them, we are going to be swept away in the growing wave of angry mob-like people who want one thing to be out there and that's it. We have a beautiful country with tons of diversity, and I want that to continue to be celebrated. Evelyn says coconut mocha at our local coffee shop is $6.44 now. I swear it goes up every week. Liliana says, I wish I could drink pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks every day. Girl, I feel you. I feel you. Hey, Paula, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. We're just hanging out, having a great time. The thing is, I love that we have the freedom of speech. I love that everyone has a voice. I just want everyone to use their voice, to tell everyone what you love and why. Let's edify one another. Let's be intentional about going out there and lifting each other up. Maria says it doesn't take much to review. Just one word is all it takes. And that's true. You know, you think that you have to put all these words in there, be fancy. And there are those people out there that are like writing half a book about it. It's unnecessary. You don't need to do all that. Just, put what you like and that's it. And Melissa says, oh, I swear they put crack in that stuff. And she's talking about the pumpkin spice latte. I totally agree. It's the sugar. My diabetes would tell you that it's the sugar. Hi, Paula. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy you're here. So, right, you don't need to summarize the book. Maria is totally right. So here's the thing. Let's build one another up like the Bible commands us to do. Let's make entertainment ministry strong again. Another thing we can do to support my ministry is to like, comment, and repost. It's crazy how much social media is a thing these days. I remember getting my first cell phone in my mid-20s. When did I give you one? Look at Abby's face. You need to get on the camera.
When I was 9.
9? Oh, I'm such a terrible mom. Yeah. And do you find it hard to use your cell phone?
No, not at all.
No, not at all. Oh, I remember when I got my first cell phone, and I was late. I wasn't in the country when they had the big chunky ones with the like antenna that you pulled out. I remember learning to type in high school and the old DOS system on my dad's computer. I remember Frogger. Yes, Frogger. Who played Frogger? In the comments, tell me if you played Frogger on a DOS computer.
What is a Frogger?
What is a Frogger? Oh, Jillian says, I always love finding quotes in the books that I read. I feel like it would also encourage someone in Goodreads or in Instagram. Exactly. And it's awesome to post that or even send it to the author. They love it. Melissa says she played Frogger. See, this is a whole generation thing. I'm telling you, it's not just mommy. Maria says she played Frogger. Evelyn says, I just write a review about what spoke to me, a heart review. I love that, Evelyn. And I love your review. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Stop dating us. Melissa, I can't help it. You just got to own your awesomeness. I mean, I don't think you have to be young to be awesome anymore. You just have to be awesome. So I'm owning my awesomeness, okay? And Frogger is a part of that. I know that some of us aren't used to liking or commenting or any of those things. Yeah, Evelyn is a great supporter. I totally agree, Maria. She's awesome. Been a blessing ever since I met her. Oh, Jillian, no. I don't think there's an author out there that is annoyed at you tagging them when you're supporting them. That's not at all how it works. I think they're thrilled. I know I would be. Absolutely would be. I know that some of us aren't used to liking or commenting or any of those things, but the whole system is rigged, okay? And when you aren't just saying, I like something. You're telling the algorithm, this is important. Show this to other people. When you comment, you are telling the algorithm, this is engaging, and I love this. We have to start working to understand all these newfangled, miserable things so that we can be intentional about how we conduct ourselves in every aspect of our lives. Technology is grabbing a hold of our children. It's their number one go-to. They're ride or die. We need to be as savvy as they are with it, or at least functionally capable. All right, giveaway number 5. Who wants to win a final ebook copy of After the Darkness? Comment on the associated post in Burrows Book Buds and let me know. You will leave a positive review for the book, and I'll pick one person from the commenters in 24 hours to win. Look at that. All the people that would not be annoyed. I'm telling you. Look. It's the truth. It's absolutely the truth. All right, coming up next, I am so excited to announce that I've opened a faith, fun, and fiction store on Etsy, and you can pre-order signed paperbacks. It's beyond thrilling. I'm also about to endeavor in swag, although I keep saying that and then I keep putting it off because I'm scared of it. But I'm going to figure it out when the gumption hits me. I know, I'm a bit crazy, that's the truth, but again, I'm owning it down to my bones. I'm also planning on writing a new prequel story, that happens closer to the beginning of book 1, and I'm planning on turning the current short story, Hints of Darkness, so those of you got the free Hints of Darkness, that's going to be turned into a complete middle grade novel that travels the story of Tristan and Evie long before Evie turns 17. Additionally, I've been working on getting 2 things going. I'm going to release a hardback version of each book. It is good to be crazy, Liliana. I totally agree. I'm going to release a hardback version of each of the books in this series, but that's not all. I'm working on turning my office into a studio so that I can record and release audiobook versions of each book in this series because I have too little money to hire someone to do it.
The studio is going to be very exciting.
You hear that? Say that again?
The studio is going to be very exciting.
Abby has her own YouTube channel, right?
Yes.
So she's excited about the idea of having a studio in here. Let's see, where was I? So there's a lot in the future of the Balance Keepers. Book 1, Hunted by Darkness, will have a birthday party next week on the 1st of October. It's our book birthday party for Hunted by Darkness. I know it was published on September 30th, but I don't do things on Friday because I'm a teacher, and this is how I make it all work. Illuminating the Darkness will have a cover reveal sometime in October. Next in the series, this final book in the series will be coming out hopefully December, but more,
Wait, you're already writing another one? Didn't this one just come out?
Yes, this one is today is the day it came out, but you kind of keep working on things, She's my cheerleader.
I got all the books.
Yeah, she has all the books in her hands. I just finished the basic outline for Illuminating the Darkness. It already has 50,000 words written in it, and I'm excited about finishing my first series. So I am going to try and get this done by December. Melissa, get ready. I want to find out what readers think of the final battle. I'm really excited. It's going to be a huge battle. So the calendar is really full for the next few months. Don't miss out. Come and have fun with the best people in the world, all of my book buds. I want to thank all the authors who participated today. AJ Skelly, Donna E. Lane, Maria, who's here right now, Candy, Katie, Cece, Julie Hall, Stephanie, Angela Watts, Amy Walsh. I couldn't have done it without you. You guys made today spectacular. But I also want to thank all of you that attended. You guys have been beyond amazing. So make sure you go in there and get on those posts and get those prizes. I'm going to try and get them out to you as soon as possible. It has been an epic day. This is the biggest day I've ever had in my publishing career. And you made it happen. Thank you so much. One more time. Let's show them these covers.
Okay,
We've got Hunted by Darkness is book number 1. Number 2. Number 2. We'll give it a close-up. Number 2, Rulers of Darkness. And then finally, number 3. Woo! Today's... this stripe drives me crazy. I can't wait to get the original. I've already ordered my paperback. Did you know paperbacks are live? You can order a paperback already. So I've already ordered my paperback. Yeah, I always buy the expensive one. I know that you're supposed to be able to get them as an author a little bit cheaper so you can resell them or something. And I don't have the patience to wait, so I just buy one. Evelyn says you are a blessing, and Abby too. That's you, girl. Evelyn, I am looking so forward to it. I cannot believe it. And next year, and I didn't even talk about next year, I just hit up to December. I'm going to be writing an adult science fiction series that is coming out sometime beginning of next year, probably May-ish, possibly June. It's already been written and rewritten, but I want to rewrite it again. It's kind of how books work. And lots going on. So stay tuned. I am so glad y'all were here, and I am so blessed that you are here, and I'm just pray that God will stay with you and cover you in his love and his kindness and help you to be great people out there. There's so many things we need to do. I know it's easy to get distracted and to get overwhelmed, and I just pray that you are able to stay in the fight and not get knocked out. It can be very hard going forward, but yeah, woohoo! Book 4 is coming in, I hope December. We'll see. I'm terrible with time. Anybody who knows me would tell you that I'm terrible at time. I estimate it'll take 3 months and then it takes 6. But, 6 still isn't that bad. All right, you guys. You have a wonderful night. Be blessed. Oh, what do you want to say? I did not. Do you want to tell them? Okay, go ahead. She's going to tell you about what we did this morning.
We went to Dunkin' Donuts at Celebration, and they had this pumpkin donut that's really good.
she says she recommends the pumpkin donut at Dunkin' Donuts. We didn't go to Starbucks today because she wanted donuts, and I thought, hey, that's okay. I'm diabetic. I can get coffee there. Although the coffee was not as good as Starbucks. That is for true. God bless everyone. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful time, and I will see you next Saturday. So make sure you come and say hi to me. I'll miss you. Y'all take care. Have a blessed day. Bye.